Hey guys, um, let me ask you a question. Are you ready? Because we have one heck of a Shifty Sunday coming up. We will announce the contest winners for tonight for the Shifty Sunday. Where is What Does Sagi Look Like contest? And we're going to be talking about time and space and time. It's going to be a very busy night tonight. So strap in, put your shoes on. Well, put your socks on first, then put your shoes on. Put the kitties to bed because it is now time for Shifty Sunday. Is it this one? Nah, I'll just play it.
S is for the S's that have disappeared. H is for Haas, it's changed, my dear. I is for incredible, lots of changes to our edibles. F is freaky 'cause Mandela effects are all the buzz. And T is for time that's running fast. Y is for memories, hope they last. If it's not a fun day, won't you join me Shifty Sunday? Shifty Sunday for Emmys. Shifty Sunday, if you please.
Hey everybody, welcome to Shifty Sunday. I am your host, Hebro77, and along with me is my broadcast partner and colleague, Sagi3333. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, I shouldn't have said 33333. You know, Sagi, I gotta tell you something, brother. You know, everyone has call letters. Everyone does. Even Lone Eagle. Lone Eagle has a whole bunch of numbers that he rambles off at the beginning of his show. Did you know that?
Oh yeah. You know, that's the cool thing about being Sagi is you don't have to be like everybody else.
Hey, that's right, man. What do you think about?
I carve my own path, man, my friend.
You carve it?
Yeah, I carve it one little nook and cranny at a time.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. You're a good dude in my book, man.
Well, that's good to know. You're a good dude in my book too. Actually, let me look up "good dude" in my book. Let's see.
Well, now wait a minute.
No, actually, you're not a good dude in my book. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right. You're right next to it. It says "goofy dude."
Oh, I see. Well, I'm going to tell you something, brother.
Yeah, what's that?
You may be a good dude in my book, but you're right above the just all right guys. You know what I mean? Like how they say you're all right in my book, you know, so that book has at the top, it's the good dudes and it's just the all right guys, you know.
Right. You know, one can only strive to have goals to someday move up in the coordination of your book. And I strive to do that, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you. And that's nothing compared to the book that I actually throw at people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, you know how they say he's going to throw the book at him?
Well, I didn't realize I thought only judges could do that.
No. I do that to people I dislike.
Okay, well, do you throw a phone book or like a loose leaf pamphlet? What do you throw at them?
Okay. Uh-oh. I think I've been oh boy. No, it's in the.
You all right over there?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
All right. I feel like we got a bad like a bad thing going here. Like I'm hearing like wow 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 wow.
You're hearing wow 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 wow.
Yeah, when we talk, like in our voices.
I'm not hearing it, man. I mean, I hear a little bit of clicker clacker, but that's a very usual thing because your microphone's kind of wacky like that. But I don't hear any wow 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 wow.
You do it better than me, but let me try it one more time. Wow 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 wow. Yeah, something like that.
Well, maybe you should adjust your. Hold on. You say something, and then I won't say something, and then you can say something while I'm not saying something.
All right. I'll say wow, 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 wow. How's that?
Did you still hear it?
Well, yeah, because I said it.
Oh man, I tell you what.
Was I not supposed to say it? Oh yeah, hold on. Not saying. No, I didn't hear it that time.
Huh? That's weird. Well,
Yeah,
here,
I think it may have corrected itself.
well, here, let me tap my mic a few times. There, see if that worked.
Yeah. Oh wait, let me take off this. This. You know, I've been sitting here at this table all afternoon working on a time machine. You think I maybe need to just walk away from that?
Oh yeah, well, the time machine can interrupt phone cell cell phone cell cell phone signals.
Well, it could be putting out some type of you know, like a aura or some type of force shield or something. I'll just hold on. Let me get up and walk away over here.
Okay, you do that.
All right. How's that? Does that sound better?
Oh, that sounds way better, man.
All right. Yeah.
Actually,
I was
Lorraine
trying to
said-
get the time machine finished in time for the show, but it looks like it's going to be an all millennial project.
I think I just got.
As opposed to an all afternoon or all day project.
Well, if all goes according to plan, if you don't have it ready by the show, then if you have it ready after the show, then you can get into it and go back to this part of the show, and then it'll be ready and nobody will be the wiser.
You know, I was thinking that, except for that I will know that I was late. And, you know, I always have to be honest with myself. There's no way I'll be able to trick myself into realizing I wasn't on time. Not to mention the fact that there will be residue, you know, like a butterfly effect, because I will have already been here. So I have to take the caution to make sure I don't run into myself from my, from that own timeline. So that means I really probably shouldn't even be here now, so that when the time travel me shows up, I won't create a paradox.
Great Scott. That's a mouthful. Speaking of a mouthful, Lorraine Lamore said she was the one causing the wah 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 wah.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could. I mean, yeah. Maybe she was, practicing her singing too close to the microphone right at the same time we aired her song, and it created some type of time vortex.
Or it created some kind of spatial anomaly.
Yeah, those spatial anomalies, they're so analytical.
I know, right? Hey, Eddie Von Keen asked, anyone for some Schoolhouse Rock singing?
Sure. I always like the one about I'm Just a Bill. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, I think we played that on the show one time.
Yeah, he was trying to get up to Capitol Hill. It's almost like a blues song in a way.
Speaking of blues songs, hey, I want to do. Oh, you mean the blues, like the Blues Brothers?
Yeah, like the Blues Brothers.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you said booze song. I mean,
well, get it right or pay the price. That's what I always say.
Oh yeah, is that what you always say?
That's what we like to say here in the field.
Oh, out in the field. Yeah, I know. Hey, you know what? I want to do an experiment real quick.
All right.
I'm gonna try.
Is part of the experiment the timeliness, or is time a factor? Because you said you wanted to do it real quick, and the whole premise of the show is time. So maybe you should take into consideration the exact amount of time you want the experiment to take before you actually begin the experiment.
Oh, no. This is a different kind of experiment.
Oh, okay.
I want to see if I can imitate a famous YouTuber.
Well, how famous are they?
Well, they're not red letter media famous or anything like that, but I mean they are pretty famous.
But I will have definitely have heard of them.
Sure, yeah, they're in the community.
Oh well, in that case, if they're in the community, well, yeah, sure. Let's hear it.
Okay, let's see if when I count when I do a count, can you quiet your mic a little bit?
I'll do the countdown and then mute myself. You ready?
Oh, okay, cool.
5, 4, wow, wow, 3, 2, wow, wow, 1.
That's funny. No, Lorraine the Moore gave me the idea to do this. Okay, ready? Everybody, let's say it all together. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Peace. Oh, I did it wrong. Hold on, let me do that again. I'll be ready this time, I swear to God. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Peace. Boom. There we go. That was better, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I get it now. I realize what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
that was Brian Staveley all day long.
Oh man, yeah. How did you guess that? That was easy peasy lemon squeezy.
It was my battle cat intuition, my friend.
I'll tell you what, man. Another thing Brian Staveley likes to say all the time is he likes to say this all the time. He likes to go he likes to go the longest shout out in the world. He likes to say that too.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know what? That reminds me of another YouTuber too. I just can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe somebody in chat can help us out.
No. I think you're alone on that one, my friend.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Dang. I'm probably the only one.
Yeah, you don't have an eagle of a chance.
Right. But maybe, yeah. You're probably right. Are you trying to give me a hint? I feel like you're trying to give me a hint.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Lorraine put the emoji down there. That's funny.
All right. Well, I guess I'm all alone on this one.
Yep. Hey, you know what the you know what they used to say when people get their welfare checks or when people get their like the old people, they get their Social Security.
Oh yeah, they all put in some thuggish ruggish bone and saying it's the first of the month. Right?
Well, actually, they do that, yes, but they also say the eagle shits today.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Well, why does he wait until they get their check? I mean, does he hold it all that time waiting on them to get their check?
I don't know. Maybe he's feeding his little eagles.
They also say my ship has come in.
Well, maybe that's because it's coming in on a boatload of money.
Right.
Hmm. See there?
Or maybe the ship is bringing money.
Hey, you know what? I just realized you do say all right. All right. But no, hey, we got a hell of a show to do tonight, man. I'll tell you what, it's going to be good. And by the way, I just want to let everyone know out there in the audience, we do know who we're talking about. But do you know who we're talking about?
Do we really ever really know what we're talking about? That's what I want to know.
No.
But really. Guess what? Today I have provided Hebrew with 3 images that I saved of myself on my phone, and they're not more than, say, a year or 2 old. They're ones I use for my social media, and we are going to reveal these images today. Unfortunately, I haven't had a haircut because of the quarantine in quite a while, so I'm not really comfortable with going on camera. It's not my Maybelline moment right now. So I will have to do that at a later time once I get to the barber. But in the meantime, we are going to announce the winner of the contest, so to speak. There's not really a a quote unquote official entry where someone actually sent in an actual drawing. However, well, do you want to take it from here, Ebro?
Well, I'll tell you what, I know we've got some very talented artists out there, and I don't know why this was a problem for them, but hey, it is what it is. They do what they can do, and that's all they can do, I guess.
Well, yeah, I've heard that phrase before, right at near the end of a Popeye episode.
Oh, yeah, he used to say that a lot, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think but I think it went something like this, didn't it? It went something like,
I am what I am, and that's all what I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Toot toot.
hey, I was getting ready to say you come in on the toot toot part.
Oh yeah, well I'm quick to pick up on cues like that.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, we're both quick on cues like that. Well, except for me, I'm a little slope. Slope.
Slow.
Never mind. But no, hey, I'll tell you, Miss Lorraine Lamore, she's the one that put out the contest. She was going to sponsor it, and I really do appreciate that. But we've run this thing for 2 weeks now, and I think it's time to finally.
I think it's been more like 2 months since we officially announced it the first time.
The first time it completely bombed, and the second time it didn't completely bomb.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say it completely bombed, but it did not. It was not a rip roaring success,
Not as big of a success as our T-shirt contest.
Which leads us to our final conclusion. The only person who actually sent in any entry, even though they didn't draw it, like officially asked by the rules and regulations in the fine print at the bottom of our terms and conditions, we are still going to honor that person with a T-shirt. We'll send them a free T-shirt, if I'm not mistaken. Do we want to go ahead and announce who that individual is?
Are they here tonight?
I don't know. I was going to ask you.
Oh, you know what? Before we do that, real quickly, since we have 13 people watching, and it's not the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. It's actual people.
All right. Well, let's hear it.
Here tonight on the program, we have Eddie Von Keen, the real one. Catherine
the real one.
Snows.
Catherine Snows.
Mm-hmm. And earlier on, at the very top of the program, we had Baylor, who I will mention something about him here later on, but not right now in the middle of the shout out. Lorraine Lamore is here. CJ Wood. Let's see. I'm scrolling on down. I hope I don't miss anyone. Go-Kart Bob is here. Hello, Go-Kart. How you doing, my good brother? And there's at least a bunch of more people who have not spoke yet. And I think I know one person who might be watching. I don't know. I'm not going to mention any names or anything. Hey, Chris from Southern Jersey is watching. All right. Wait, South Jersey. I'm sorry. Well, Southern Jersey, South Jersey,
Right. Yeah. Southern Mexico, south of Mexico.
One name I forgot to mention, I didn't on purpose. I mentioned it last, who's usually here first, is good old Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine. I was going to ask, I didn't hear his name. He's usually here. What's going on with Michael Fontaine? But he's here. That's good to know.
That's good coffee. Hey, speaking of coffee, I hear you drink Maxwell House.
Well, I recently bought some Maxwell House, and I was telling you right before we went live that I actually had some really good coffee going, and I came to the conclusion I think I like Maxwell House better than Folgers with or without the D.
Uh-huh. Well, that what I like about Maxwell House is it's got a catchy jingle. It goes do 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 do. Not quite
that is a fancy jingle.
Oh yeah,
And
man.
then what was their slogan? Good to the last drop, right?
That's right. Unless that drop is backwash, and then it's not good.
Right. Or it's clung to the side of like the lip of your cup and you can't get it off. Oh, I hate when that happens. That drop sucks.
Yeah, never mind. You have to suck it. Never mind. We won't go there. But anyway, we always seem, before I get into the contest, whether I want to do some more chit chatting about food. And one of the foods that I had today that I'm very proud of is my grandma's chicken and dumplings.
Okay. So your grandma's chicken and dumplings.
That's right.
Yeah, so let's describe what is so special and unique about these chicken and dumplings that makes them so awesome.
Well, for one thing, they're made of 100% pure grain A flour.
All right. I said all right again.
There you go. You said all right. So you didn't even know you said that until Lorraine Lamore pointed it out in that drawing.
You're right.
Maybe we should award Lorraine Lamore for T-shirts, since she's the one that she's the only one that actually drew something.
I think we should just send her an entire T-shirt collection in advance because I went through my time machine and I found out that 10 years from now she's actually going to have a collection of not only 5 of the T-shirts that we already have, but she's going to have 10 of our future T-shirts as well that we haven't even designed yet. So why don't we just go ahead and design them right now and just send them all to her, and that way we can just skip the process of actually having to do it over the course of time.
Well, what's cool is we have the Shifty Sunday products. Okay, we have those. And by we, of course, I mean me, because I don't have a mouse in my pocket. But we don't have Taco Tuesday merch.
Not yet, but someday down the road we will.
I thought of some ideas already. I want to run past you in the audience.
Well, I would go ahead and tell you what the finished product looks like, but I don't want to interfere with your creation process, because that could alter the final results. Could alter our timeline and totally change the sequence of events that have yet to occur.
You're really getting carried away with this our theme of the show, ain't you?
Well, when you've actually seen the future, it's hard to not glean the future.
The future cannot be unseen.
That it cannot.
Well,
and you know how they have that catchphrase, the revolution will not be televised? Well, that's false. Let me tell you, it's going to be televised. It's going to be on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. It's going to be on every network channel. Trust me.
Well, I'm going to tell you something real quick.
All right.
Some people might say that time is like an enemy that stalks us. But I got to say, it's just the opposite. I got to say that time is like a friend that goes on the journey with us.
I see. That's an interesting outlook. I think that there's times when time can be your friend and times when time can be your foe. For instance, if a man wakes up 10 minutes before he's supposed to be at work and he knows it's going to take him a half hour to get ready and 20 minutes to get there, at that exact moment, he fears time. But what he doesn't realize is time makes no difference. It has no what's the word I'm looking for?
Maliciousness?
Yeah, no malicious intent, nor does it have intent to help you. The time does not care either way if you're late for work or if you're on time for work, if you get fired or if you get the big promotion. Time is just a tool. You can use it as in a productive way, or you can use it in a very non-productive way. So this guy who woke up, he's got to be at work in 10 minutes. It's going to take him 20 minutes to get ready and 10 minutes to get there.
So 20.
What he should do at that exact moment is just say fuck it and hit snooze on his alarm clock and make time his friend.
Oh well, yeah, you could do that easily.
Yeah.
But hey, man, speaking of time, I think we're wasting a bunch of it on this subject right now. I think we should go ahead and reveal the winner by default of the Sagi reveals himself, or as I like to call it, Sagi exposes himself to the public.
Yeah, that's don't have the exact ring to it that I was hoping for.
No.
Yeah, sure. Let's roll with that.
Okay. Hey, by the way, Teresa Lynch is here.
Okay. Good. I'm glad she's going to be here for the grand reveal.
That's right. She gets to see what you look like. I don't think she's ever seen what you look like.
Well, I chose 3 photos. I guess you could just show all 3 in any order that you like.
You mean at any given time?
At any given time. In any, relative. And then all of these pictures are within, like, I'd say, the one without the one where I don't have my hat, it's like about a year old, and the other 2 are maybe just over a year old. So they're not that old. They're fairly relevant.
All right, I'm getting into the Hangouts now. Hey, that one looks pretty cool. I've never seen that one before. All right. You know what? I like the last one. I'm going to show the last one first and the first one last because it looks like you can see the age progression.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Of the different sorry, man, that's just how I put it.
It's all good. Time is relative. And that doesn't mean that it's related to you by chance, just so you know.
Oh yeah, well, that's what I was trying to say is like some people look at time as a stalker. And what I meant by that is it stalks you, it runs you down, it turns you into an old man,
It's a race against time, my friend.
Oh yeah, for sure. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, here is good old Sagi. What do you think, people?
Hey, I know that guy. I've seen him before.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, look, not a chemtrail in the sky or a contrail
right here, yeah. Wait. Is that?
I think that's just a natural cloud thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's more like a broken cloud to me.
You're right. Yeah. That's what I mean. Not a chemtrail in the sky.
But here is the next progression of his age.
Well, that was actually taken 5 minutes later. I just took my hat off or something like that.
No, hey, you're ruining the illusion here.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Now here's Sagi 10 years later. Okay. he looks more worn out. He's got more bags under his eyes. He just looked like he ain't having a good day. I'm kidding, of course, but
yeah, I do look a little less friendly in that image, don't I?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you really are looking like you're having a bad day there. Where are you at?
Yeah, I do see the bags under my eyes now that you pointed it out to me. I had just gotten that chain, so I wanted to take a picture of me wearing it. I literally had bought it inside the Walmart.
Cool.
Moments before that picture was taken.
Yeah,
I was going for a look there. Like I'm in my 40s, but I want to look like I'm still in my 30s. That's the look I was going for. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the cool, like, what do they call those trucker hats? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the like Metro camo thing. Like we really need black and gray camo because we all hang out in black and gray areas.
Oh yeah, well we do sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
Right.
That's all I'll say about that. But anyway, and now here is Sagi Here is Sagi 15 years later. He's lost more hair. He has to wear glasses now.
Yes. Not sunglasses, prescription glasses.
Uh-huh. And it kind of
he finally got a job.
Well, I was going to say it kind of looks like you just went to a convention.
Yeah, no, that's me at work. Yeah. If that forehead was glaring any harder, it would blind people.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. In all serious though, man, you're a cool looking dude. You know, you're a cool looking cat.
Well, I try.
But I'll put that up there long enough for people to linger so they can see it.
Right.
Hey, I tell you what, you got a compliment right now.
Well, that's good to know.
CJ Wood said, damn. Oh, no, wait. She said, dang, Sagi, you're handsome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, if you were trying to draw that face, first of all, you just have to draw an egg, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And put some glasses on it, My nose looks unusually large in this photo, and my chin looks unusually small. So whatever the case may be.
Well, hey, I got to tell you something, man. You know, if Lorraine Lamour's drawing, she added a little bit more hair, but I got to
let's bring up Lorraine Lamour's drawing, and we'll do it.
That one up. Yes, I love that drawing. I do. Where did I put it, sir?
Well, it should still be in your email. Is that how you received it?
I've deleted that email years ago.
Oh, wow. I have no idea unless it's still like in one of our hangout sessions that you've removed yourself from.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. It is a good picture nonetheless. And I really wish I could find it.
Well, let's move on. I'm tired of looking at myself. I'm tired of sitting here staring at myself at work.
No, don't. Because look, here's what I want to point out some things. Okay, I want to point out some cool things. You look like you still got that chain. It's right there.
Yep.
And if you had the hat on and sunglasses, you'd still look the same.
Yeah, for the most part. It's only about a year and a half later when I took this picture.
But I'll tell you what, that's my favorite pictures of the picture.
Okay.
Not that one.
The first one.
Right. That one, you look like you're happier. You're in a better situation. I got to tell you couldn't look better, my friend.
Why, thank you.
For a 60-year-old guy, you look pretty good.
For a 60-year-old guy, well, I'm not quite there yet. I'm not even quite to my 50s, but I'm rounded third, heading for home. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, all right. I've embarrassed you enough. Let's take that down. There you go. So there you go. And hey, you know what? You guys know what I look like.
Right, you're muscle-bound blonde hair, and you carry a large sword. Duh.
Yeah, everybody can see that. And by the way, you know why I called you a cool cat a while ago, right?
Because I am a cool cat.
That's right. You got the shades on. That's how you know a cartoon character is cool, by the way, when they wear shades.
Okay. And you know how you know when a cartoon character is tough is when he's got muscles.
Well, that and when they wear the gloves, like the gloves with the hose in them.
Oh, okay.
That's how you know when a cartoon character is tough. But anyway, I digress. So our contest winner is none other none other than Lotar 900. So let's there we go. Sorry, I don't have my machine ready, so I have to do this. But anyway, Lotar 900 will receive a free T-shirt, any size of his choice, any color of his choice, any words of his choice. Like he doesn't have to necessarily pick that one. I think I got other ones as well. But you know, he will receive a free T-shirt. Or if he wants, no, just a T-shirt.
And the reason we're giving him a T-shirt is strictly for just the fact that he sent in something, even though he didn't follow the rules and send in a drawing, you know, and all that. I'll leave it up to Lorraine Lamore if she wants to still send him the $20 or not. But as far as Hebrew and I were concerned, he didn't follow the rules, but he did participate. So we felt that we should at least send him a T-shirt.
That's right. It's like one of those participation awards, you know.
Exactly.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to go over here tonight. And tonight, for the first time ever,
Can you give me a 2-second? Go ahead and talk amongst yourself and give me about 30 seconds.
Oh, sure, man. No problem.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, as I was saying, is for the first time ever here tonight is the debut of my commercial. I made a commercial earlier on, and I'm going to air it. And you know what? Let's put a few banners up here while he's going to do his thing that he has to do. So we'll put the number there on the screen. And what I would like for you guys to do is don't call in yet because I don't have the phone lines open. I'm letting my phone charge. But I will say this. Well, Lorraine, we don't have his artwork. I think I destroyed it when I when I deleted my emails. But you know what I'd like you guys to do, if you have any time traveling experience, if you have any weird sort of occurrences that happen to you, you know, like you felt like you might have time jumped or warp jumped into another dimension or whatever the case may be. And that doesn't even have to be time related or anything like that. It could be anything you want to talk about. You call in that number, you talk about how your day went. I don't care, but going along with the theme, it would be nice if someone had sort of a time leap story. And deja vu to me also counts sort of as a time leap story, you know, when you have that feeling like you've been in certain, well, you guys know what deja vu is, but so anyway, Catherine Snow sends a trophy cup. Dan is on 30 minutes. Well, yeah, I'm aware of that, sir. But we're going by our own merits. We hope that people that like us and like our show and like the content we're putting out will stick around. You know, I'm okay with you guys jumping back and forth between channels. That's cool also. But we're going to, you know, it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. We could have one person watching and that would be fine. You know, it's all good. And I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I like to thank, you know, all of you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, you know, we wouldn't have a channel. And all people, well, we would have a channel, but it wouldn't be the same. But all people from all over can watch later if they want to, and that's fine too. So yeah, I really do appreciate the ones that do stick around and they do hang in during the show and they do the call-ins. You know, you guys are one heck of a good audience and you're a lovely audience. And we appreciate that, you know. So with that being said,
I want you to know I'm back. I wanted to throw my 2 cents on everything.
No, all right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, you know, I've spent waiting on Dan to go live in the chat room, and sometimes, more often than not, he doesn't run 100% on time. So kind of think of us as like we're warming up the audience, you know, for his show later. And if we do end up being on live at the same time, we do not take offense to you jumping over there if that's what you choose to do. And like Hebrew said, if you feel torn because we're both on at the same time, don't feel like you're going to offend us if you jump over there. We will not take any offense to it at all. If you decide to stick around until our show's over and then jump over there, that's fine too. What I'm getting at is we don't look at it as a versus situation. We're all here trying to do the best we can, put out the best content we can, and we have the utmost admiration for Dan and his show. And you may even catch us popping in over there when we're done broadcasting over here as well. So we will not. We don't want anybody to feel like they have to they're obligated to stay, or that we'll have feel some type of way if they bounce back and forth or end up jumping over there altogether. Just so you guys know. And enough of that. I don't want to go on and on and on. I just wanted to make sure I put my 2 cents worth out there for everybody to know that we do not hold it against you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Speaking of great content and great stuff, I was very impressed by you the other night or the other day, Sagi, when you were on System Failure Show. I know I was supposed to be there as well, but I got to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be honest with my audience, and I want to be honest with myself. I did not leave because I had a tummy ache or anything like that. I left because I knew that Sagi was hitting it off well with System Failure. They were putting on a good show. The flow was good, and I didn't want to interrupt your flow. I didn't want to interrupt your mojo. You had some really good mojo going on, and, I got to say it was a really great show. Plus, I got to be honest, and honesty is the best policy here. While I'm talking about this, I got kind of tired when I had to wait for like 45 minutes for him to put us on.
Yeah, I never ate that many green M&Ms before a show before.
No. No.
So I hope he's not mad that I got into the cupboards. I found his reserve bag of M&Ms and I ate those too.
Oh man, I don't know. As long as it was the green ones, I guess,
Well, yeah, I ate all the green ones. But then I started to run out of green ones. I'm like, well, I don't want to eat the last 3 green ones. So I started eating the other colors as well. But I did leave 3 green ones for future guests, whoever they may be.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of green ones, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but it reminded me of A&W root beer for some reason. Awake and Activate is here.
Woohoo! I did a rap on his show yesterday.
I know, man. I was very impressed by that. If I had a good beat that I could play, you might could repeat it here, but I don't know. It's kind of a free flow thing,
Yeah, I'm not in that frame of mind right now. I'm not saying I won't do it. I may even write a rap, just for our audience someday. But as of right now, I'm not in a rapping state of mind.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
but,
you do.
Things could change. You never know.
You do have to be in the right frame of mind. Otherwise, it's not organic. It's not the same.
Well, plus I don't want to do too much too fast. I mean, everybody just now is still trying to get over the shock of what I look like. I don't want to totally blow their mind and start rapping, while they're still trying to wrap their brain around, just my image and everything. So,
well, hey, we got speaking of the devil, Mr. System Failure just came up, man.
Oh, okay. What up, System Failure, aka Mark?
But he says he wants you to do the rap, man. See, now he's putting pressure on you.
Yeah, I know. Like how convenient for him to just jump out of the woodwork with his cape on. Yo, Sagi, do your rap, bro. Do it. Frank the Tank. Yeah, okay.
You know what? Maybe he jumped into a time machine and fast forwarded to the show because he was here earlier. So maybe he fast forwarded to that part where you said you weren't going to rap. He said, "Oh, I'll show him," and he went back in time and came back to this very precise moment.
I think you may be onto a quantum theory.
Ooh, quantum theory. One of my favorite shows growing up was Quantum Leap.
When I was doing research for our show today, I stumbled across an article. It was the top 20 shows about time travel, or top 20 movies about time travel. And I almost clicked on that article because I thought we could just go down the list of movies and, just discuss them. But then I found something different. It's the top 10 stories of time travel that will totally creep you out. And man, it was hard not to bite on that one. So I went with that article instead. But I think I can look up the other one if you guys were more interested in hearing that.
Hold on just a minute there. Hold on.
It sounds like you're shifting into a timeline. The get some more tea timeline probably.
No, it's the 5G timeline.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the warning and the heads up. I could have just did my rant another minute longer had I known.
No, I want to. We could do that. We could do that here real quick, and then we'll go to commercial. Let's do that real quick. Let me go over it with you and see if any ring true to you. We'll start with the first one, Quantum Leap. Okay, I already mentioned that one. And then we got, after that, in my book, comes Doctor Who. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Doctor Who. I just recently started getting my Doctor Who on. I watched most of the first season. When I say the first season, I mean the revamp season. I think it's like 2007, 2009 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Apparently there were episodes before that, but they were a different.
Mm-hmm. A different.
They were just made differently. They had a different actor, everything was different about them. I don't know. I'm not a Doctor Who expert, so I just realized it was recommended that you start at that particular year to be caught up on the current Doctor Who's.
Well, I don't know if it was a show about time or not, but Stargate. I don't think it was about time. I think wasn't that just different dimensions they were gating into?
Yeah, and they were traveling across time and space, I think. Weren't they?
I'm sorry. I was reading.
Well, let me go over the list here. One, how I found it? I brought it back up. You familiar with the movie Donnie Darko?
Donnie Darko. That's a weird movie, man. Yeah.
I'll read the little synopsis here, okay? Richard Kelly's thought-provoking cult classic is perhaps one of the most profound films ever made involving time travel. And despite how deeply interwoven it is with the film's plot, it's not something you can immediately glean early on in the film. Jake Gyllenhaal plays title character Donnie Darko, who encounters a large bunny rabbit named Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Frank informs Donnie that the world is going to end in 28 days, a time frame during which an increasingly bizarre course of events begins to transpire. The film's core themes are directly connected to its issues or to its use of time travel and are necessary addition to the list of time travel movies. Would you agree?
I would have to say that movie to me was more of a jump in a different reality, more or less, than it was a sort of a time travel, but it did have time travel in it.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a strong recollection of it, so it's hard for me to say either way. I do remember that when the movie came out in 2001, I just don't remember details about it, so I can't say.
Ooh, you brought up a good when you said 2001, it kind of reminds me of 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is not technically a time travel movie, but they do show sort of like the beginning of time and then moving on to the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. How about Groundhog Day? Would you consider that a time travel movie?
Yes, because he is in fact traveling through time.
He's stuck in a time loop, I think is what they call it.
A time loop, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man.
Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a time loop?
Yes, there are days, man. Especially when you someplace and you go there day after day, and it's the same old, day after day.
Yeah.
It feels like Groundhog's Day, as a matter of fact. You know. And
Very
honestly, there's been some times where it kind of worked like deja vu, where it seems like there was a conversation we had the other day that I felt like we've had before, and I was doing the exact same thing as we were talking about the thing that we were talking about.
Yeah, a lot of times that I think that's something that almost anybody could relate to, feeling like they're stuck in a time loop. And especially, it seems like it can run its course for sometimes weeks or months at a time before you break a cycle where you literally do feel like you're repeating the same day over and over and over. Maybe it's because your job is the tasks you're performing at work have become rather mundane. I mean, even if you're not working on an assembly line or something like that, a lot of times, even in an office environment, you can find yourself constantly always doing the same thing every Monday that you do every Tuesday, then you do every Wednesday, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And and you're packing very similar things for lunch. You have the same route to and fro, so you see the same things. And oftentimes you'll see the same drivers at the same red lights because they get off work at the same time you do. It becomes a bit surreal, I must admit.
Huh. Yeah, and I watched a time movie the other day. It was called The Time Machine, and it was based off of who wrote that book. There was a book called The Time Machine. I think it was W.R.H. Wells. What's his name again?
Oh, wow. Look at you putting me on the spot. I know who you're trying to say, and I can't think of it.
Was it George Wells?
Or no, George. Oh, yeah, the author of 1984.
Yeah.
Yeah, George. Let me think. I can't. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of his name. Hold on. I'm just going to type in 1984 author.
Okay. And I would consider 1984 the
George Orwell. Yeah, Orwell.
Huh. Oh, whoops. No, ignore that. Ignore it. Sorry about that, folks.
Hebrew 77 here.
But hey, man, yeah, The Time Machine, and it's about this guy and his girlfriend, his fiance at the time. She gets killed, and then so he invents a time machine, and then he goes back in time to the point where she was going to get killed at, and he put her in a different location. And when he put her in that location, she still gets killed in another way. So it's like, no matter what he does, he can't change the outcome. It's still meant to happen. And that could bring us down a much deeper rabbit hole. But that's the whole part of it. And then he gets in his time machine. He travels so far in the time that it's people living like they used to live in the past. Like up in trees and in huts and. Just sort of like, I don't want to say primitive, but yeah, I guess sort of like primitive lifestyle, you're muted up. Sorry, dude. Hello?
Yeah, I was talking the whole time, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize you couldn't hear me until you said something.
Oh, okay.
Another good one. I say this is probably one of the most profound movies about time travel that kind of really got people scratching their head and thinking about it. Terminator, the Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
Which coincidentally came out in the year 1984.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I know, right? and it's what it's 25, 30 years later almost, and it's still a cultural, it's still a big part of our pop culture. I would have to say.
Oh yeah, it's right up there with Ghostbusters or Gremlins, I would say.
Right. I don't even feel like I need to read the synopsis, but it does make a thing in here about hearing the Arnold Schwarzenegger famous line, "I'll be back," which we looked at recently and saw how he the Mandela effect on that is that he's lost a lot of the accent. He don't really sound like "I'll be back" anymore. It sounds like, "Oh, I'll be back."
Yeah, yeah. Like instead of "I'll be back," it's like "I'll be back. I'll be right back, guys." You know. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean. What?
Huh?
This thing on?
Is this thing on? I'm trying to do a show here. Back to the Future came out a year later in 1985.
That's right. Back to the Future, one of my favorite all-time movies of all time, and one of my favorite movie series. All three of those movies are good in my book.
Yeah, and again, it's still a huge part of our pop culture even to this day. And a severely Mandela affected movie.
Yes, it is.
It seems like Mandela likes to play with movies that talk about time travel.
Ooh, I wonder if they're going to mess with our show.
I believe they probably already have, and by they, who do we mean? Those evil Mandela gators that lurk in the Mandela swamp and like to cause those Mandela effects.
No, I tell you what, man, another time movie that's one of my favorite all time, and there was two of them, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh yeah, definitely. But before we move on, I want to make one last note about the Back to the Future. It has to have a really cool song. Huey Lewis and the News, is it from "We're Going Back in Time," something like that? Oh yeah, a classic time travel song to go with its time travel theme. But what was the one you just mentioned?
Oh,
Bill and Ted. Let me see if it made the list here. Oh man, I'm not seeing it on the list. How could they overlook such an important? Huh? Oh, there it is. It made the list. Okay. They're actually making a new one, or Keanu Reeves is making a new Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. No, I did not know that, sir. But I'll tell you what, Keanu Reeves, I don't know, man. Is the other dude going to be in it?
I would have to assume so, yeah. It's funny you say the other dude because neither one of us remember his name.
I know, right? And I'm not going to take any time to look it up either. What a show.
It's Alex Winters.
I see you took the time to look it up.
Well, it's in the synopsis. A goofy but lovable entry. This film has Keanu Reeves and Alex Winters playing floundering high school students. The pair uses a time machine to travel back in time and put together a report for history class that will earn them an A+, one that involves bringing a group of famous historical figures back with. The concept may seem ridiculous, but the absurdity is what makes it great. That I have to agree with that. I always thought it kind of does put in the pre-notion that if you were going to take the time to create a time machine, then you were going to actually travel back in time. Wouldn't it make sense to go to specific historical dates, and either witness them or manipulate them for a better outcome. Would you? Is that something that you think you would want to do? Mess with history, or just go back and witness it?
Well, I'll tell you what, brother. I would probably just want to go back and witness it. But I will say this though. We're going to get deeper into this conversation, and we're even going to get into some real time travel methods that they're not. I mean, they haven't been proven yet, but we're going to get into hypotheses. We're going to get into theories, time travel theories, and all kinds of stuff.
And probably like 4 other words that we can barely spell or pronounce, but we're going to do it.
But before we do that, man, let's go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more Shifty Sunday. What do you say?
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Commercial and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Hebro77 here. Do you want to support the channel? Do you love the content it's getting? Do you love watching Shifty Sunday every Sunday? Well, some by buying a t-shirt. That's right, the Shifty Sunday t-shirt. Shifty Sunday t-shirt for only $20. Long sleeve tee when the shift hits the fan. Watch Shifty Sunday. This is $25.99. And your Shifty Sunday hoodie sweatshirt for nearly $27.99. Remember, that's teesprings.com/store/Hebro. And remember, if it doesn't say Hebro, it's not the real thing.
All right, and we're back. I don't know what happened there. It seemed like it froze up there for a second. I can't get out of here, dude. Oh, okay.
Are you stuck in a time vortex, my friend?
Oh, I think I was. You see that? That was weird. It just disappeared. But yeah, see, so we're going to start taking those commercial breaks more often, but I will have different ones.
And by more often, you don't mean every 30 seconds, right?
Oh, no. No, I mean.
Oh, it's time for another one.
I want to read some of the comments here. We're kind of behind on them.
Okay.
Eddie Von Keen says, I want a new drug. Oh, that's another good. I almost said Eddie Money. Eddie Money in the news.
Huey Lewis in the Good News Crew.
Right. The Good News Crew. I want a new drug. Go-Kart Bob says Quantum Leap, which I mentioned earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Eddie Von Keen says Sliders, and I remember Sliders too. That was I didn't watch it so much, but I knew about it. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes. But did you see that show, Sliders?
Yeah, I did. It was a good show. It was kind of like I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it on TV? Like,
yes.
Or was it yeah, it was a show on TV. And I remember, like, I don't know how many seasons there were, but I remember when it first came out, I was excited about it. And then over the course of time, I slowly lost interest, pardon the pun.
Over the course of time.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you something, my brother. Bocart. Bocart. Go-Kart Bob says Hebro and Sagi look like bros. Oila Greg came in. He says, hi, Mandela Gators.
Hey, I just used his Mandela Gator terminology, too.
I know, man. And I want to bring up the fact that the Oila Greg was one of our first contest winners of our first contest.
Oh, man. I think I may have mentioned that once or twice.
Oh, you did?
But, yes, that is a true statement.
But I understand that you have actual things that you wanted to share that had to do with time travel?
Well, yes, I do actually.
Well, before you get into that, I'm going to do an intro into our time travel spantacular. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness an uncanny trip through time, back to the past and into the future, as Hebro and Sagi present time traveling. And here we are. This is our time travel portion of the show. Welcome back, everybody. And Sagi, I got to make a comment right here and now. I think that Doc Brown, I think the inspiration for Doc Brown was actually Albert Einstein.
Okay, I can see how that might be the case.
And as you know, Dr. Albert Einstein, I think he probably wasn't one of the first. I mean, ever since the beginning of time, people wondered about time and what was
I
in
think
their
that
future.
the people at home are playing a drinking game where they have to take a shot of whiskey every time we say the word time. They're thoroughly inebriated by now, just so you know.
Yeah, I'd say they're alcohol poisoned. But no, I as I was saying, I think Dr. Albert Einstein, he wasn't one of the first, because for thousands of years, man had wondered, what's in my future. They have explored the possibilities of traveling to the future, going back in time. And, when you read books by G.H. Wells and you read, what's his name that lived in a little yellow submarine? What was that guy? Who was he?
The Nowhere Man?
No, not the Nowhere Man. You know who I'm talking about. He's the book that Dr. Emmett Brown was inspired by. 20 Leagues Under the Sea. And
oh yeah, okay.
The traveling train and I'm Too Short to Fit Inside Your Body. What was the name of that guy?
I can't remember, man. You caught me off guard with this.
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne, good old Jules. How I forget Mr. Jules, Mr. the Verninator, of course, yeah.
Thank you, Catherine Snows, for that answer. I had a brain fart there for a second. She retrieved.
She totally saved the show. Good job.
Oh, and good old Philip Fogarty brings up a good point. Forever Young with Mel Gibson was sort of a time travel movie.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this. A lot of times people, talk about traveling forward in time or traveling back in time.
Mm-hmm.
And most often people want to travel back in time because of because of regrets they may have, or they want to change, alter a course in their life where they feel like, their life took a turn for the worst. Maybe a family member passed, or you were in some type of accident, or whatever the case may be. You decided to go to the casino and bet your life earnings on black, and it turned up red. Whatever you decided to do on that particular day that was your undoing. Now, then other people wish to travel to the future because they want to peek at what is to come, even though more often than not, a peek into the future will probably not be as pleasant as you envision it. Not saying that the future is bleak, but we have a way of our in our minds creating unreal expectations of our future being so grandiose and wonderful, like we're going to have, all these material gains, or we're finally going to get ahead, get that promotion at work, or whatever the case may be. We put a lot of hope into our future. So you're risking the fear of a major letdown by traveling to see the future, even though it's not guaranteed. It's a likely outcome. So let me ask you this: would you prefer to go back and try to possibly alter an outcome, or would you prefer to have a glimpse into the future?
Well, let me answer you like this. I would, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would love to go back in time and fix some things that they might have some regrets and stuff like that. But I, for one, am glad of my mistakes, because we learn from our mistakes. If we didn't have mistakes, we wouldn't learn anything. We gain wisdom from the things that come by our mistakes. And the second part of my answer is, even if you could travel back in time, and I think I mentioned this on another show, but since this is our time traveling show, our official time traveling show, I will say that if you can go back in time, you would not actually be able to change the course of your history, because once you change something as yourself in that timeline, it becomes your own timeline and actually becomes a different reality for you, but it's all the same. Because if you travel backwards and then do something, and then you travel forward, like if you travel backwards, for example, like you are already you in that timeline, and had you had changed stuff in your other timeline, yourself in that timeline would have changed as well, and therefore it would fold on a paradox that you would not have traveled back in time and not had done that stuff, because your future self would still be the same future self that you are once you traveled back to the future.
Well, exactly, except for this. Whatever. So essentially, what you're saying is, in a way, that you have already traveled. You've already done it. Like, let's say you're going to travel into the future. In the future, you're going to build a time machine. You're going to travel back to now, and whatever it is you're doing now is altered you in a way that has created your ability to do what you're going to do later. Essentially, even though it hasn't happened yet, it's already happened.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already happened. That's kind of what I was trying to say, but
Well, yeah. I mean, you just made me realize that. Like, if I was to go back and like the day that I met you and came on this show, if on that day I was going to actually, instead of stumbling across your live stream and acquainting myself with you, had I chose to take my dog to the park, all of a sudden the me from the future came back and hid the leash, so I couldn't find the leash to take the dog to the park. So I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'll just do it later. And instead, I got on my phone and I stumbled across, crossed your page and your YouTube channel, and ended up, doing this here and now. But even though I haven't actually traveled in the future yet, and purposefully hid the dog leash from myself, I've already done it.
Yeah. And Eddie Von raises a good point. He says, if you go back in time, kill your grandpa, you won't be born, so you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to go back and do it.
Right. So it would be a paradox, is what I think that is called. It's impossible for that to be true, and for the fact that you are able to, and for you to still exist, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that would be a unique paradox. However, yeah, I don't have the answer for that. it seems like there should be some type of loophole that still allows it to happen. And I think, or better yet, a loophole that prevents it from being able to happen, which is the fact that, as far as I know, we haven't invented time travel yet. However, there are reports that the government, the military, military industrial complex has created the ability to see. I think I've read an article somewhere that they've created technology that allows us to see the predictable outcome of up to like 2 or 3 minutes into the future, and they're using it in real-time strategy, but really 2 to 3 minutes, and it's just a probable outcome. I mean, really, that's not much better than human intuition, if you ask me, but hey, it is what it is. I guess a 2 to 3 minute advantage could be huge in some instances, though, right?
Right, very huge. Here's something I want to point out before you get to your final thing, your pictures or whatever. And I do believe, are there articles to go with that?
Yeah, I got an article. I didn't take the time to send you pictures because they were just basically like, the images aren't essential to reading the article, so I didn't include those.
I got to tell you, there's something out there. It's called a string, and a lot of people think of time as being a straight line, that we can only go forward and never go back. But what if the string was a loop? What if time was a loop? And instead of going forward or back, you went around like in a loop.
Yeah, or you could. I see what you're saying. I do think that that there could be some truth to that. However, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't think that it's a loop in the sense of like, it's. Have you ever seen how somebody feeds a projector and how the film goes up and down and around and through this little hole and then around this pulley and then up and then onto that reel to reel? Are you with me?
Absolutely. So far, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I imagine a time loop would be shaped like. It wouldn't be just this perfect perpendicular circle that comes back around onto itself. I think there's a lot of ups and downs and turns and things and courses along the way, because in a timeline you have so many different decisions that you make throughout the course of the timeline that slightly alter your participation in it. And the more, a lot of decisions you make, as if I'm going to have toast or pancakes for breakfast this morning, are very minimal to the big scheme of things, where other ones, as if I have 2 job offers and I think I'm going to choose to take the job at the bank versus the job at McDonald's or something like that. So I don't know. So I think a lot of times things get there's decisions you make that greatly alter, and decisions you make that slightly alter your course of events along the loop of time. So yeah, I definitely think that it could be a loop. With that being said, where does the loop end and where does it begin? That is the tricky part of the question, my friend.
They say that time is infinity and space is infinity. And Dr. Albert Einstein had a theory in which if we could travel in a beam of light and go the speed of light, and I think what he's referring to is only going into the future, we could actually slow down the course of time. And by slowing down the course of time, and I think they actually proved this somewhere, where you could actually, like if you were a small molecule, like our bodies are made up of millions and billions of molecules and whatnot have you, if you were a small molecule and you were on a beam of light, you're traveling on the beam of light, to you, like 1 hour would only seem like mere seconds, but to everyone else in a bigger molecule universe, to them it would be 2 days or 3 days or something like that. For you would only be 1 hour.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're describing there is the microcosm versus the macrocosm. You know, the minute small versus the entire collective. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, it's that everything is definitely relative to each other. I mean, if you really look at, you break down a molecule and you look at the amount of the physical presence of any molecule, even think of the strongest, hardest solid you can imagine, it is still mostly there's still more space in between the protons and neutrons and electrons than there is actual density. Even your densest material, when you get it down to a molecular or micro level, there's a lot more space between them than there is actual substance of the atoms themselves. So in that theory, or in that thing, that you really should be, you go to sit on a chair, there's more space than there is substance in that chair. In theory, you should just fall right through it. Your atoms should be able to fall through the atoms in the molecules of the chair. But for some unknown reason, physics comes into play, and their electromagnetic fields are strong enough and tight enough to create what we call density and know of as density, and it allows us not to fall through the chair. Even though there's more space between the molecules than there is density, somehow we don't travel through it. It really is quite the conundrum, my friend.
Well, and I'll tell you another thing. Neil deGrasse Tyson, yeah, I know he's a very controversial figure in the Mandela community and whatnot, but I'm going to go ahead and say what he says about they were talking about creating warp speed. And he said the only way you could literally create warp speed is if you were to fold space like a burrito, and you have one half of space go over, kind of like a burrito is folded, and then you could literally walk over from one time fold to another. And this also includes a hole. And their theory is, if we go through a black hole and we come through the other side, it's possible that we could warp through time, and that way, by creating a static warp shell. And what a static warp shell is you're caught in sort of like a bubble. And while you're in that bubble, in the static warp shell, the time around you is actually going faster than you are in that bubble. And that would cause the effect that seems like that you've actually went into the past.
All right. So yeah, I was with your analogy there when you were talking about folding the burrito. But then when you went into the bubble, you should have just been like, you could be like a bean inside the burrito.
True. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that on Taco Tuesday.
Oh yeah, you're right. So
yeah, that's it.
So let me go ahead and tell you. Have you heard of John Tidor?
I've heard of that one guy, and I will bring him up later in the show. But go ahead, man. I have no idea who he is, but I know a Tudor, like Tudor or Titter.
Well, this guy is John Tidor, Titor.
Yes.
And I'm just going to read it to you, okay?
Okay.
Have you ever thought, wow, it would be so cool if I could bump into a real Terminator, a guy who's been sent to the past with a mission to save the planet? And maybe I could even give him a hand. To one person, though, this might have actually happened, only he was the Terminator in 2000. A message appeared on an unknown internet discussion forum posted by a man who claimed to be a U.S. soldier named John Titor from the year 2036. He claimed he was supposed to carry out an important mission in 1975, the purpose of which was to save the world from future destruction. The scenario of the mission, as he described it, sounded pretty much like a sci-fi movie plot, and the predictions he made about the future raised a lot of eyebrows. And yet there was something about the description of the mechanics of his trip through the years that gave a sparkle of plausibility to his story. And what's more, his horrific predictions about the future might not have came true. But what if Soldier Titor had actually averted an imminent war by posting messages about it? Anyway, nobody can actually prove otherwise. So, I don't know the details, but I can look them up.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Go ahead.
How do you spell John Tudor?
It's Titor.
Hey, John Titor.
Yeah.
Tor. Because I saw a video on YouTube, and this guy actually talks in detail about John Tudor. But I know that you got more to talk about. But I did want to show sort of a clip off of this guy's. Well, here's one. It says John Titor, time traveler or Tro. Would we like to watch that?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Now I'm sharing this guy's channel because I don't want a copyright.
Travels are pretty phenomenal.
No, I don't think I want to show this. It's got a bunch of stuff in it. Oh, okay. We'll watch it. It's 5 minutes long, but we're only going to watch about maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to mute up.
All right. Let me get it on screen first. Let's see here. And oh, that's not it. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's see.
Have I ever mentioned this is my favorite part of the show?
Yes, you have, sir. More than once. Yeah. Please pause for station identification. Hey, why is it going all hey wacky? What? There we go. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, I see your screen.
Okay, speed this up because I don't want to get a copyright strike. What happened? So we'll speed it up to the 1.5. And I'll make the screen larger again. I swear. I'm sorry about this, folks.
Yeah, you may want to do 1.25. 1.5 might be a little too Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I don't know. Let's find out, and then I can always change it back.
In 2001, a man by the name of John Titor.
Yeah, well, you're right. Good call, my friend. Good call.
Created a post on the now defunct forum called Art Bell, claiming that he was a military time traveler from 2036. His first post read, "Greetings. I am a time traveler from the year 2036. I'm on my way home after getting an IBM 5100 computer system from the year 1975. My time machine is a stationary mass temporal displacement unit manufactured by General Electric. The unit is powered by 2 top-spin dual positive singularities that produce a standard offset Templar sinusoid. I'll be happy to post pictures of the unit." Obviously, people weren't just prepared to automatically believe this guy just because he says he's a time traveler. So, a lot of people asked him for proof. One of the first pieces of evidence he provided were pictures of his time machine, along with the manuals to go along with it. A lot of John's responses to people seemed pretty believable, and he went into a lot of detail when explaining what it felt like to time travel and everything. A lot of people that spoke with John Titor felt very convinced that he was legitimate. Now, convincing, but it isn't exactly proof. The longer John Titor posted on the forums, the more inconsistencies appeared in his story, and more things just didn't seem right. On March 21st, 2001, John Titor made a final post saying he was leaving to return back to the year 2036, and after that, no one ever heard from him again.
Okay, so what do you think about this so far? First of all, can you understand him?
Yeah, mostly. I'm having a hard time hearing it, but I'm getting the gist of it. So far, I mean, it all seems like the way I remember it actually happening. I've read about this before. It's not the first time I've ever heard of it, so it seems
Oh,
to be an
yeah.
accurate depiction.
Okay, cool. As long as you can kind of make out what he's saying, I'm good with that. Never mind. Okay.
One thing John Titor did do before he left was leave a bunch of predictions that were supposed to come true in the future. So, if these predictions he made did come true, that would be extremely satisfying proof that he is a real time traveler. So, let's take a look at some of his predictions. Predictions claimed that war in 2015 killed 3 billion people. Well, it's 2016, and I don't recall anything like that ever happened. He also said the Olympics would be canceled after with a chance of starting up again.
You know what's interesting? I think he was a little off, maybe, perhaps. You know, I mean, they did cancel this year's Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. You know? Hello.
Sorry, I couldn't get to the mute button fast enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did. They canceled the Olympics.
I think he was about 20 years off.
And in 2040. Once again, the Olympics were never canceled. Another prediction that a civil war would happen in 2004, consuming everyone in the U.S.
You know, this is interesting about the Civil War. It seems like we're kind of, I don't want to bring up any controversy subjects, but it seems like we're kind of going through that right now with man against the government, so to speak. And it says with a very short World War III. I don't know. It seems like what we're going through now.
Yeah, I can relate.
So with that being said, I'll move on, but it's interesting. Say the
in 2012, and then end in 2015 after a brief World War III. This never happened either. He even predicted that the Y2K glitch would cause a lot of people to die, which also never happened.
But, however, he was aware of 2K glitch, which is kind of weird, seeing how he came from. What year did he come from again?
2030 something, 2036, 35, something like that.
No, I was meaning like what year did he reveal himself? Was that back in the 90s?
Oh yeah, no, it was shoot, hold on, let me go look it up again. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was 97, 98, around that time.
Well, shoot. Considering it was back then, you know.
So those are really crazy predictions that never happened, which you'd think would be proof that John Titor is a fraud. Well, not exactly. He actually does have an excuse for this. He says that the further he goes through time, the more of a divergence is created. The best way I can describe this is the parallel universes. The timeline we're in may not be the same one that John Titor was from. He said there was a 2.5% divergence, which means the timeline we're in is 2.5% different than the one he is from. People,
you know, that's interesting that this guy's talking about alternate timelines, and you know, we're in this time period right now where we all feel like we're coming from an alternate reality, so to speak. So, you know, when you deal with the Mandela effect, and for those that are new,
Mandela effect.
For those who are new here that don't know what the Mandela effect is, we'll explain it later.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Reason that a lot of his predictions turned out incorrect. To me, this just seems like a really convenient excuse to get predictions wrong without losing credibility. If he gets something wrong, he can just say it's because of the divergence. No matter what, he can never be proven wrong. But still, a 2.5% difference isn't that large. He still should have gotten a lot of predictions right, but you saw how drastically wrong those last few were. So, as to whether or not he was able to get any predictions correct. Well, that depends on what you mean by correct. There were a couple that he sort of got right, but they were vague. He mentioned an overheating space shuttle prediction. Some people think he was referring to a space shuttle disaster, which happened in 2003. On the space shuttle, one of the wings was damaged and superheated air breached the wing, causing the shuttle to disintegrate. Another prediction he sort of got right, in which he stated it would become very, very unstable and China would expand. Apparently, has been growing fairly well, while the U.S. economy isn't that great. Once again, whether or not you consider these predictions to be hit.
Yeah, especially nowadays with the whole coronavirus thing going on.
It's up to you, since they're sort of on the vague side. At the end of the day, no one really knows who John Titor was, or if he was real or not, but in my personal opinion, I find it hard to believe. The only way I'd really believe this is if a time traveler came back and made a specific future prediction that actually came true. But with what we know, there isn't any proof that John Titor was real. Sure, this doesn't prove that he was fake, but it doesn't prove he's real either. What do you think? Was John...
Okay, well, there you go. There's that video. And
So, yeah, I mean, was he a hoax? I'd say probably was, but it's still fun and interesting to entertain such thoughts, you know?
And we got to look at the comments here for a second. We've got another late night that says he would have known about the corona, though. Well, if it was an alt timeline, then that's not necessarily true, but good point nonetheless. We got Euler Greg, who says anything is possible. And he goes, how does time travel explain a shifting galaxy? That's another good point. D-dimensional shift, theoretically, but some other factors must be present. Like,
you know what I just love is the fact that we have people who watch and leave intelligent, well thought out comments. You know, those are all very good, insightful comments.
yeah, I tell you, we have an intelligent crew here. We got a lot of really good, intelligent people who watch the channel, and you know, I really do appreciate that. It's those little insights that make the show what it is. I think, you know, when you can interact with your audience, and you know, that's the whole point of keeping chat open and keeping an open mind and letting them express their opinions, thoughts, and ideals.
Exactly. With that being said, how's your phone looking on the charger over there, my friend?
My phone is looking. Let me go check it out. Let me scoot over here.
And while you do that, I'll read the next thing here.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. This one, Dark Wolf talked about on his show about time travel. I don't know if you want to bring this one up.
I don't know what it is, so I can't be definitive. I can't give you a definitive answer. But
all right. Well, it's a Benedictine monk invents the chronovisor and witnesses Christ's crucifixion. Of all the believers on the face of earth, there was one person who we bet never had even the slightest whiff of doubt about Christ's existence. It was Father Pellegrino Ernetetti, who was a Roman Catholic Benedictine monk who claimed to have observed the Last Supper and later watched Christ dying on the cross. The device he was using was a self-crafted chronovisor, i.e., a kind of time machine that enables you to follow past events in real time. Basically lets you see into the past without actually having to physically go there. And again, the year 1997 is when this apparently occurred. Peter Crosso published a book about the monk's life and invention. And 1997 is when the book came out. My bad. The biography included also an appendix with an excerpt from an allegedly lost play by Quintus Ennius, which Father Ernetti insisted to have attended during one of his time travels with the chronovisor. Of course, Ernetti was pressured to produce some evidence in support of his claims, but when he produced a photo of Jesus on the cross supposedly taken through the device, everybody recognized a striking resemblance to a piece of art by Valera Ernetti, who had no other choice but to admit the photo was fake. However, till the end of his life in 1994, he never took his words back about the existence of the chronovisor. So I think he did go ahead and admit that he never actually saw the crucifixion, but he never he even on his deathbed he wouldn't denounce the fact that his chronovisor was real. So I don't know. I'm such a skeptic that it's hard for me to say. But what do you think?
Well, I was checking the phone lines, and we actually had somebody that was on hold, and they hung up just as soon as I picked it up. So I just wanted to point that out. But I tell you what, it's a very interesting thing that you just said. You know, the guy seems like he was backpedaling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I would like to say that in reference to the caller that we had, caller, go ahead and call back, and we'll take your call.
Yeah, for sure.
The phone lines are open now. I do have them on the ticker. Maybe if I put them off the ticker, people could see them better. Let's do that real quick.
I like how you call it the ticker. You know, like that's what we like to use, that official terminology like we use in the field.
Yeah, like we use in the field, exactly. And you know what? I think Mystique would agree with you.
I totally think she would agree with me. Even though she's not here, I'm sure she would agree with me.
Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, never mind. I thought we just yes. Well, we have our caller back.
All right.
I will unmute the caller. And hello, caller. You're officially on with Hebro and Sagi on this Shifty Sunday night. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. It's Lorraine.
Oh, Lorraine.
Well, hello, Lorraine.
Sagi, you're pretty cute.
Well, I thank you. You can give me as many compliments as you like. I'm here to accept them all.
Yeah, when I first called in, I was on hold, and there was this guy singing a song about being on hold. It was pretty good. Pretty clever song.
Yeah.
I've had one experience that kind of relates to time loops, and then one that I keep forgetting to mention. I'll mention that first. Recently, and I got it on I took a video recording of it. I heard what they call, I don't know what they call it, but it sounds like a trumpet sound outside. And so I started hearing this, like a blast of a trumpet sound. And so I stepped outside and I kept recording. Well, I got to find the video and figure out how to get it, or at least even the audio, and get it, transferred and all that. I haven't tried to do that yet. But it's a similar sound of what I've heard on some YouTube channels, over the years, where people hear this bizarre.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that trumpet sound. I've heard it as well.
And that happened about, I don't know, a month ago. I don't remember exactly.
I have seen videos. I have seen videos on people hearing trumpets and stuff like that. And I've also seen videos where angels are coming out of the sky or whatever, but I'm not quite sure what to think of those. I don't know. It's kind of like the John Tritter thing. Is it Tritter or Truder? I don't know. But anyway.
Tidor.
Tridor?
You keep wanting to put an R. There's no R.
Oh, well, I'm from Eternia. We put R's on everything.
Right. So it's just Titor. Titor or Titor?
Titor. We also say O. Our O's weird too. Like Stinkor, Just saying.
Well,
okay.
Yeah. Well, those videos of angels, I think it's a CGI, computer graphics. That's just what it seemed like to me.
See if I could turn this up.
Yeah, I got that. Anyway, the sound, I have a recording of it, and I didn't go asking around if anyone heard it. I don't really talk to The less I talk to my neighbors, the happier I am. So, but here's the weird time loop story that happened when I was a kid. And me and a couple of my brothers were sitting on the living room floor. And and just, the outline, if you come in the front door, the living room is to the, you're in the lower left corner of the living room. Straight ahead is a doorway to the open doorway to the kitchen area, the kitchen. On the right, far right, is an open doorway to a hallway, which has, bathroom, 2 bedrooms. And past the wall between these 2 openings is the dining room. So you can go from the kitchen through the dining room to the hallway without going through the living room. But there aren't really no doors on these openings, So we're sitting there playing, and our mother walks from the hallway through the living room into the kitchen. And then very quickly, she does the exact same thing when there really wasn't enough time for her to walk back, to start again at the start. And so we realized it was bizarre, and we looked at each other and we said, "Mom, didn't you just walk through here?" And she said, "No." And we said, "Well, did you walk through to the kitchen and go to the dining room and come right back through?" And she said, "No, I just walked through once." And so we just sat there looking at each other like, what was that? It was bizarre. We didn't know what to do, except go, all right, we didn't even discuss it later. It was just bizarre, and it was kind of creepy. And then, but she also wasn't the kind who would ever, if she ever played a joke on someone, she wouldn't let them. She would reveal that it was a joke within a minute or so, So it wasn't like she was playing a joke on it. It was just bizarre. So, but that's some kind of time loop or a premonition or a repeat or I don't know what it was.
It was a glitch in the Matrix, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I can relate. I can't say that I've had exactly that same thing happen to me, but I know that this is technically I can't even find my words. It classifies as a deja vu, but it's not in the sense, if you want to get technical, because it's not like something happened and I envisioned that it already happened. It was kind of the opposite. It's like I knew what was about to happen right before it happened. But it was like I could see it play out before it actually played out. But it wasn't as if I had already been there. It was almost as if I was just realizing it as it was happening, that it was that I already knew it was going to happen. Like I know exactly what the person is going to say next. I know where they're going to walk. I know they're about to grab their keys and walk out of the room or something like that. And I know that it could just be simple innuendos or intuition of just picking up on someone's body language. Once they stand up and they're getting ready to leave, of course they're going to grab their keys. But I could actually see the whole event play out ahead of me before it actually happened. So I know that had to have been real. Obviously it made an impact on you if you remember it after all of this, pardon the pun, all of this time.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is, besides that it was weird, we didn't discuss it after that because we felt like nobody's going to, we didn't think, and I guess we figured like talking about it isn't going to help, and we just kind of wanted to move on from it, We didn't, I don't think we ever talked about it again, and I've had different deja vu situations over the years, and nothing that dramatic or exciting, but I've had that moment where this is familiar, or I just did this, or didn't I just dream this, or you know what I mean? Didn't I just know and do this in the last day, whatever. I've had that several times.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what. I've had that happen to me. Let me ask you this. Have you ever walked into a room and then instantly knew what was in that room and like kind of beyond that room, like in the next room or something like that, before you even walked in it?
Like a brand new room you haven't been in before?
Mm-hmm.
Not so much. I don't recall having any experience like that where I know like the layout of a building or a town. I haven't done it. I haven't traveled a lot either. Out of the country, so no, I can't say that's happened to me.
Well,
I have instances where I meet somebody and I have a feeling of recognition or some recognition, and some kind of connection, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I felt connected to anybody, but yeah, but that's, I don't have too many experiences like that, I guess. So now, what was the artwork or submission that Lothar had? What was that?
Yeah, do you still have those handy, Hebrew?
Well, no, actually, I ended up deleting a whole bunch of those because I was cleaning out my email, and I do apologize to good old Lotar 900, but there were several of them that he sent in. I think one of them was Sagi having goofy glasses and some buck teeth or something like that, and then there was one of an old man with his hair gone, and that one's probably more accurate. But no, I kid, of course.
If he sent them his emails, he can just go to his send folder and probably resend them.
Oh man, no, I tell you, I've got over 200 emails just yesterday from Mandela Residue Hunters Club, as it were. So that's a lot that I have to go over my deleted list.
None of them were really like super serious entries from what I understand, Lorraine. He was just, in a way, he was kind of just trolling, just sending comical images to get a good laugh out of us. So, and they weren't an actual drawing where he was actually trying to realistically recreate what I look like. So, but nevertheless, he was the only person sending in something. So, there's that.
Yeah, I tell you, Lorraine, you're the only one. You're the only one that actually drew something, and I got to tell you, you were kind of accurate with your drawing a little bit. If you would have given him a little less hair and a better cut of his chin and the goatee, you would have been right spot on.
Yeah, I didn't see the goatee in my head, but it is true that when I made the drawing, I had to redraw the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why you can tell there's another piece of paper stuck onto it.
Oh.
And then I thought it's almost like a mask,
Yeah.
It didn't come out right because the trick is, I think, when you're drawing teeth, if you put too much detail, they look dark and they don't look good.
Right.
And so the trick is to just draw enough, but Sandy, how do you think I came? How close do you think I came?
I think you actually did quite well, considering you had no clue. I mean, I would say you got closer than I would have expected you to, and I was just flattered that you thought of doing the contest. I want to thank you for taking the time and energy to do everything that you did involving it. You drew the picture, you came up with the concept, you put money on the line. I want to extend my gratitude. I'm very, very thankful to you for everything that you've done. And not just that, but you've just shown our channel and Hebrew and I so much support. We're really both, I know I'm speaking for both of us, but we are thankful for you and the efforts you've made. I still love our Shifty Sunday theme song. Every time I hear it, I can't believe that, we're so blessed to have had you even do that for us. So, I just want to. I can't thank you enough, Lorraine. I really can't.
Okay. Well, when I get to Florida, maybe you can thank me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Oh.
I would definitely. I'll take you. I'll take you. Where, you know, we'll go to the oyster bar, and then we'll hit the beach. How's that sound?
That sounds great. I haven't been there in a long time,
Hmm.
and I don't. I'm not eating chocolates, just so you know. The noises. I'm not planning to go anytime soon, but I did have my 7th birthday in Florida with my dad in the Tampa area, and we went back. You know, we went to visit the whole area. But ever since then, I've loved palm trees. You know, because we cold northeast. So
Should I play the match theme song? Do 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 do.
you can't.
So, caller number 3, on a perfect date, where would you take her?
The crab shack and the beach. Apparently. I have a question though, Hugo.
Yeah.
In videos, you have this little sound at the end. You go or whatever that.
Oh, well, you know,
about?
that's a very interesting story, actually, if you got the time to listen to it. Me and my cousin used to work on my videos together years ago. I think back when I was 16 years old at the time. He might have been like 10. But we thought about those old cartoons, you know, that used to sort of go, you know, do, 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 you know, that sound like Bugs Bunny or whatever. And so on accident, he was like, hey, why don't you put like a little sound or something? And I just went do 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 do, you know, and that kind of stuck. And yeah, that was with me ever since then. So yeah.
That's your little sign-off sound, I guess.
Yep. I'm thinking about trademarking it. What do you think?
You think what? I didn't hear that.
I said I'm thinking about trademarking it. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. No one's gonna steal it.
Right. I don't think so. Maybe I'll put it on a t-shirt. Dude.
Hey, the one you had from 20 years ago, that you made 20 years ago, where you know, I shared that one. Did you know I shared it?
Oh, you did?
On Facebook. I shared it on my Facebook, and then I shared it on the Sacred Avocado page.
Oh.
And I haven't gone back to check, but some of it was really clever. And I know it's not easy, like filming yourself, because I did a video where I did that, and it's not that easy. So I was cracking up. Like, there was the fight. And you're on the floor going, come on, man.
Right, yeah. I'm not sure I could. I'm not sure I could do that level of physical comedy today. I don't know, man. You know, I'm up there in my 40s. We're not as limber when we're up there, you know. So I don't know.
It took a lot of cleverness. And had you thought of that technique yourself, or did you see someone else do it, where you're like stepping out of frame and saying the other line and coming back into frame?
I don't know for sure. I came up with most of it on my own, but I think I might have seen, oh, what was that show? Was it The Kids in the Hall? It might have been The Kids in the Hall, or it was one of those shows where I think I picked up on it and kind of imitated it a little bit. I'm not sure. But most of it was my own ideas.
Yeah. I know you mentioned that show in that video, but yeah, I got a kick out of it. And it's also a longer format. Like most people aren't putting together that long a script of anything. So that was, you know, accomplishment. Okay, well, I should probably. Do you have any other callers?
Well, let me check. Let's see here.
I would say this. I think it was Michael Fontaine, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. That he had some odd, bizarre he wants to talk about it, but
Well,
if it was him, I'm curious to know what happened.
I don't think we have any other. If you got, do you have anything else you want to share with us?
Who, me?
Well, yeah.
I didn't know if you were talking to anyone else. Not really. I really, no. I mean, nothing that really relates to this. I could go on and talk all night, but what I'm going to try to do is get the recording of that sound, the trumpet sound, and then try to get it to you guys and see if you want to play it because we don't know what it is.
Well, sure. It's always good when you share a personal experience like that. It's cool. And especially, you catch it on tape or you catch the sound at least. And yeah, we would love if you could find that and then you can, or somehow download it and then you could email it to me. That would be great. If you could do that.
I'll work on it. I just haven't tried to connect camera diskette, whatever that thing is, with the computer, so I haven't.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have an SD card?
Yeah, there's an SD card.
Okay.
For the camera.
All right. Well, yeah, you could easily. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know it'll connect. I don't know if I'm going to need to go look for a file, the program that'll help you edit video and photos from that, because usually there's some downloaded, you have to go download a program file to run it so that you can edit and do what you need to do. So I haven't even investigated that. I have other stuff I'm trying to do.
Well, okay, just whenever you get around to it, that'd be great. Yeah. I know there's some people that can help you out if you will contact one of us. I'm sure we could talk you through it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, because I've still been working through this whole thing, so I don't have as much time as some people.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess I have too much time in my hands, as that song goes. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys get going. And Sagi, I'm glad we finally know. Hey, Sagi, do you have any are you part German background? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, because it is personal. But when I was hearing you talk and trying to picture you, I thought, I bet he's kind of like Germanic background. Am I correct?
Sagi, you there?
Did he take a break?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, actually, my mom's side of my mom's side of the family is German. Like her dad, when he came across, when he came to, I don't know, back when they had the back in the 1920s, back when they had the what is that called, the recession? I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, and everybody had to change their names to simplify. Yeah, the Depression. Thank you, the Great Depression. And his last name used to be McFedrich, and I guess everybody had to change their name to a more simpler, more Americanized name back then, because they had to wait in lines for their provisions or whatever they were getting, like their food and stuff that they were, the lines you had to stand and wait in line to get your daily supplies of to live by or whatever. And they made him change his name, and he changed his last name to Johnson. Of course, that was my mom's maiden name, so it's not. I never had actually either of those names, but at the same time, I just thought it was an interesting lesson. So I was going to at some point try to look up the name McFedrich, like it's lineology or whatever. You guys know what I'm trying to say, but sure. I never actually took the time, to do it. But it is funny you mentioned that. But then on my dad's side of the family, it's it's like a Irish and French ancestry. My dad actually had a French last name, so I'm
Well,
like I guess you could say I'm a little bit of everything. So
maybe you could go to ancestry.com or something like that.
yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can research that, and they even have listings of people who are on the ships coming over, and you can even try to trace that. And then you also look at census records.
Exactly. Yeah, I had full intentions of doing that and never got around to it. Then the same grandpa I was just talking to you about, his wife, my grandma, she always told me stories when I was young that she was somehow related to the Howard Hughes family. That she but that she was like, I guess there was some type of scandal in the family or something that happened where she ended up being adopted out of it. Like she literally got adopted into a different family, and then when she got to become an adult, she tried to restore her ties to whoever it was that was related, in the Howard Hughes family, and they wouldn't have anything to do with her. They wouldn't respond to her letters or anything when she reached out. All she had was a family photo of like her her biological mom standing with other descendants of the Howard Hughes family, like in a large group photo. And she gave me a black and white copy of the photo, and I still have it put away in a box somewhere. I haven't pulled it out lately. And she told me someday it might be in my best interest to try to at least find out, what the connection really is. But she was adopted at such an early age. She was, and when she reached back out to try to find out, how her mother was related, nobody would return her letters. So it's just one of those mysteries that's never been solved.
So you could travel back in time and fix that.
Exactly. That would be a worthwhile time travel trip.
I will tell you this: I have, I work in a store right now, and I've been working on my intuition. And people come up, and I try to. Sometimes the idea pops into my head, but other times I try to sense what they're interested in or what they do. And I've been right a lot of times. For example, a lady came up, I'd never seen her, a little older lady with beautifully, combed white hair. And I said, were you a librarian? And she said, yes. Or I said, are you a librarian? Have you been one? Oh, yes, I was a librarian. Another lady, I said out of the blue, I just thought, do you like Katharine Hepburn? She said, I loved her. Another man, I said, do you work in radio or broadcasting? He said, no, I don't. He said, but my dad does and my brother does. And another one was, I just asked a guy, like, do you like football? And he said, yeah, I do. And I said, well, more than most, just kind of average, or like more than most? More than most, I guess, and his team was like the Packers he's from up there, So it's kind of interesting to me because it happens a lot more than it ever did as far as me getting a sense and then being right about it. And here's the people print photos too at the store, so we get the photos ready and ring them up and all that. And so there's these little baby photos. I said, oh, it's a new little baby. And she's like, yes, it's my grandson. And I'm like looking at the photo and I said, is his name Michael? And she's like, yes, it is. How did you know that? So I'm like, well, I just knew, I guess, So that's kind of the most bizarre thing, but it seems, I'm sure I don't mean to freak anyone out with it, but it seems it's less surprising to me now than it was years ago because I've been just trying to tune in, So that's like the most interesting thing lately regarding unusual events like that. So.
Well, you know what? Your intuition is better than mine. I have to give you that, Lorraine, because like when I was trying mine out, I was like, I walked up to this this rather attractive lady, and I go, "Do you work for the airline?" And she goes, "Well, yeah. How did you know?" I go, "Because my mind has been in the clouds since I first laid eyes on you." And that didn't go over so well. Yeah. And I'm like, I went up to another lady. I'm like, "Do you work for NASCAR?" And she's like, "Oh my God, yeah, I'm in a pit crew." I'm like, "Yeah, because my mind's been racing ever since I first laid eyes on you." And that one didn't go so well either. So it sounds like you're getting it down much better than I am.
I didn't hear the first line though because of the connection. What was it again?
I asked her if she worked for NASCAR.
Yes.
And she said, "Yeah, I work in the pit crew." And I said, "Yeah, because you've been racing through my mind ever since I first laid eyes on you."
Yeah. Was it two jokes or just one?
They're both basically a play on the same joke.
What was the first one though? The line about the airline?
Oh, the one on the airline, I asked her if she worked for an airline, and she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah, because my mind has been in the clouds."
Cute. Well, when I was in LA, I'm literally, I was walking somewhere, and this guy says, "Oh, excuse me." He says, "You look familiar. Have you been on television?" I said, "Yes, I have." And he was like, "Oh, you could tell by his reaction, no one had ever said yes before." And he was probably thinking, "Oh my gosh, the line worked." Yeah. And it was just, I could tell it was just a pickup line, but it's like by his reaction, "Oh my God, nobody ever said yes." What do I do now? So it was weird, but anyway. Okay, guys. Well, I don't want to take over the whole show, at least not tonight.
No, I think just half of it'll be sufficient for this particular landing. But we always enjoy it when you call. We really do. Thanks for calling.
Oh, thank you.
I know Hebreo's making all kinds of a noise in the background.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Lorraine. I'm sorry.
On the avocado page, I've also posted some good news. Like when I see good news items, I try to post them there. So you guys can always go there if you want to do that segment again.
Awesome. Yeah. Who knows what's in the books? We may do something on Monday. We're definitely doing something on Tuesday, and I don't know about Sagi. I don't know if he wants to do 3 shows in a row or not. I don't know.
Yeah, we're just taking it as it comes right now. We'll see how it goes.
But I'd like to do a special tomorrow night. Go ahead, Lorraine. Lorraine, I'm sorry, I'm babbling.
No, that's okay. I've just you got the sound cut out for a second. I didn't hear that.
Huh.
Yeah. If you it would be helpful if you go to if on your YouTube channel headquarters, I don't know what they call it, in the community area, you can post a message. So if you have an upcoming show with a theme, let us know. Because sometimes I know I was several months ago was looking for the show and it didn't happen. People change their schedule and all that. But yeah, if you can do that, that might be helpful.
Well, I tell you what, I really wish I could do that. But you have to have 1,000. You have to have about 1,000 subs, I think, in order to post things. YouTube's weird like that. Yeah. You have to have so many subs to leave commercials. That's why I made that commercial, because I can't put it in the t-shirt place and the thing, the one thing.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, the only subs I've had were from Subway.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, those are the best kind.
I think so. I like to give you more ingredients than bread, and other places think that bread is the highlight. No, it's not.
Yeah.
The bread is the holder. I want the inside part. That's why I'm here. The bread is just because you won't give me a bowl to eat it with a fork. So.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys. Well, I'm happy we finally got the contest done. Maybe he'll resend what he sent you, because from your send folder on email, you can usually it's there. You can just resend it. But it's up to you. You don't have to show it if you don't want. But now, Sagi, I'm glad we know. I have, and I. I'm gonna start, look online and see about tickets to Florida. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think Sagi, I think you left him speechless, Lorraine.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to think about that. I don't guess.
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. I missed that last part. I'm sorry.
I said, now we got the contest done, and I said, now I'm going to look up getting a ticket to Florida.
All right, sounds like a plan.
And he's thinking, oh no, I have a stalker. Okay, guys. Well, I'll better let you go. Have a great night and enjoy what you're doing. And we'll think of the next. I don't know. Think of something.
Sounds good, Lorraine. As always, it's been a pleasure having you call in. Your calls we always love your calls, and thanks for everything. Like Sagi said earlier, the theme song and coming up with the contest, that was a really good idea. Unfortunately, it seemed to fall through, and I do apologize for that. But hey, who knows? Maybe there'll be something else. You're more than welcome to have to bring us ideas anytime, and anybody else for that matter that wants to bring ideas to us. We're open about it.
Yeah, that's good. I like come up with creative things. Well, thanks for the compliments. I appreciate it. Have a great night, and I'll listen. But I have to work, so I probably won't listen for too much longer.
All right. Well, thanks. Well, get some rest, and whatever you miss, you can watch it later,
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll be on that much longer, though, to be honest with you.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Okay. Thank you. You too.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right. That was Lorraine Lamore. And I think I'm going to end the conference now. I don't think we didn't have any more callers the whole time that was going on. So I'm going to remove the number from the screen. And Sagi, I got to tell you, we have some special announcements we have to do. And then, but first I want to go ahead and give everyone the final shout out. How's that sound, sir?
All right. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like progression.
Oh yeah. Progression, moving forward. You're always pushing forward,
Yeah. You know me.
Yeah. You know me. Are you down with OPP? Yeah. Anyway, so
what does OPP stand for?
Other people's property.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
No, I think you know what that stands for, and we won't get into that. How about that?
Oh, okay.
No, but we'll just pretend like it's what I just said.
Well, I thought I believed you. I had no reason to doubt you, my friend.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I am known to fudge on some things, just saying.
All right. Well, there I go again saying, all right.
There you go. That's your catchphrase, just like mine is. Say it right or pay the price.
Like we like to say in the field, is that a thing?
Hey, you know what? You haven't brought up is that a thing in a long while. I hope you still got those.
I just did.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought about doing a what grinds my gears tonight, but then we got into this, and then we got the phone call, and I think
final shout outs, that's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's when the show's wrapping up and you're going to shout out your chat room one last time. It's called a final shout out.
All right, the final shout out. Do 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 do. Oh, sorry. Okay,
no, that was really good.
Well, thank you, sir. Okay, scrolling up here, we have Wood, Eddie Von, the real one, Gold, broadcast parley and best world besides you, Sagi, of course, and you know that. Armor Up. Let's see. After him comes Awaken Activate was here tonight, and Go Kart Bob. Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
What?
I know, right? Michael Fontaine.
That's right, Michael Fontaine. Oil and Greg, our last contest winner. The very beautiful and voluptuous Catherine Snows. Lorraine Lamore with a awesome phone call there towards the end. A good friend of mine. I've known this dude for many, many years. Good old Philip Fogarty is in the house.
Big shout out to Philip Fogarty.
That's right, man. You know, he's related to one of the Fogarty brothers that was in Clarence Clearwater Revival.
Interesting factoid.
That's right. Of course, I might or might not be telling a factual an infactual thing there. So just never mind what I just said. Anyway, another late night 78, which follows my name, Hebrews 77. Oila Greg, which, I think I already did Oila Greg. His shout out, I mean. Let's see here. Scrolling. Keep those puppies rolling, rawhide. I think I mentioned Armor Up, and we mentioned Michael Fontaine. Of course, at the very beginning, he was here for a very long time for some odd reason. Good old System Failure. And,
all right.
You know what? I think that's the last of our shout out. Oh, CJ Wood was here, ladies and gentlemen. CJ Wood.
All right. Yeah. Get it right or pay the price.
That's right. I better get it right or pay the price. And unfortunately, for Lotar 900, he wasn't here to hear himself announced for our contest winner. But hey, we may re-announce him on Taco Tuesday as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling word will get out to him. And I don't know if you still have his email address, but you could send him an email letting him know that he won as well.
Oh, I most certainly will, sir. You know, I got a few announcements I want to get out there. The first announcement is we may or may not have something going on Monday. I don't know. That's up to how you feel. But yeah, I'm not saying it is or isn't going to happen. But the second announcement is our good old friend, our broadcast colleague, our colleague. I said colleague, didn't I? I called Armor a colleague. Sorry about that, Armor. Oh, man. But what point was I getting at? Oh, I believe that good old Armor Up, otherwise known aka Ron, who he allows people to call him by, I do believe that I think it's either tonight or maybe tomorrow. I think it's today, actually. It is Armor Up's birthday.
Woohoo! Happy birthday, Armor. Either way, it's either right now or 9 minutes away.
That's 9 minutes. Oh, yeah, you're on double time.
Well, I live in the same time zone as him, so my time counts. Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool, but yeah, Armor Up says woof. Woof. But no, he says no, not today. Well, when the heck is it, man? Explain to us. But either way, I just wanted to wish him a happy birthday. I know it's coming up soon, I hope. What else was I gonna and so if it is today or tomorrow, I would like to have a special day for him. I'm inviting him either on Monday or Taco Tuesday to come on. It's just going to be you and me, Sag, for Taco Tuesday. if Armor doesn't come on. But if he wants to come on, he's more than welcome. And we'll have a special birthday celebration for him, and we'll even wear our hats. How's that sound?
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's not every day that somebody, who's over 100 years old has a birthday.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he did fight in World War One.
I know.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get him to tell us some old war stories, and yeah, we'll crack a Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, and we'll chat with the old man.
That's right, man. Maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe he'll send us in some pictures. Maybe people. Maybe we could do a contest. Is do a drawing of Armor, and then we can use the age progression history like I did with you. How about that?
Yeah, the possibilities are endless. I guess we'll just have to tune in to find out.
That's right. Everybody tune in to find out. And, again, I want to thank everybody for coming on and for joining us tonight and being here. Sagi, you were telling me earlier, and I know I'm going to reveal this, that, you were kind of worried about everyone else having, live streams tonight. And I said, hey, my man, don't worry about it. The audience.
Oh, okay. Here. I was worried. I see how you flip that around.
That's okay. Right.
Yeah, because me, Mr. Worrywart, I wasn't the least bit worried. I just thought I should, politely bring it to your attention that we were going up against, some tough odds here tonight, some rough sledding, some turbulence was in the air. But you know what? We came, we saw, we kicked butt, we took names, we did all that stuff, man.
That's right. And chewed bubble gum at the same time.
That's right. And we persevered, and that's all that really matters.
But we do have a really good audience, and we do have a loyal following, and I do appreciate that. That's so awesome to have that. Like I say, better to have quality than quantity. We have a quality audience.
Yes, we do. Big shout out to everybody who's there and participating in the chat still, anybody lurking and listening, and to all those who are going to tune in later. We thank each and every one of you, because that's why we do this. Is we enjoy doing what we do, and we enjoy having people listen to what we do. So thank you, guys. Thank you, each and every one of you.
Well, I got to tell you, I think that about does it, and I think our time is up, pun intended.
Don't. When you right before you hit the B footage, do the do right as you're signing out. I think you should do that.
Yeah, Lorraine Lamore brought up a pretty good point. That is kind of my signature thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh. Well, that's another thing I meant to mention before we get out of here is that Lorraine Moore, I do appreciate you sharing some of my videos and whatnot have you. And thank you so much for that. That means a lot to me. It really does. But with that being said, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think that pretty much does it. I'm sure I'll think of something later, but for the most part, I just want to make sure. I'm glad the contest is over. I wanted to make sure that I thanked everybody, and of course I want to thank you for bringing me out here and having me on this platform with you as your co-host. I really do enjoy it. So thanks, Hebro, and that's really it. Just nothing but thanks, all around thanks for everybody.
All right, cool. So guys, that does it for Shifty Sunday. And we will see you next time on Shifty Sunday. But before then, I guess we'll see everybody on Taco Tuesday. Okay, come on, guys. You got to show up for Taco Tuesday. I mean, come on. Anyway, good night, everybody. Do-do-do-do.